Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon. It's 2:09 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen,
Do you know?
where your information is?
Sure you do.
Right here. Why? Because you're listening to IVMS, Insight Volunteer Management Services Infopod. And I'm
Robert Isaiah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Isaiah, and I am the host of IVMS's Infopod. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, let me please give a shout out to the Office of Faith Initiatives, without whose generous funding this pod would not be possible. So, again, thank you very much.
Thank you. I got that off. For giving us the funding to make this Infopod possible, ladies and gentlemen. And we definitely appreciate their assistance, their financial assistance, as well as their assistance with the mechanics of setting up a program that is trying to give you quality of life information that you need to make certain decisions. For instance, let me give you a for instance. Dateline right now. Check this out. When you have Section 8 and you get an SRAP letter, which is basically, don't ask me right now off the top of my head to tell you a state rental assistance program. You try to tell me. But the bottom line is, let's say you got a letter that states that you received information that says you have been picked off the lottery, which is different from being picked, go on the waiting list for housing. Let's say you got picked off the lottery to get a housing choice voucher. Well, if you haven't heard from them in a while, and you want to find out, because let me give you the scoop about the Department of Community Affairs that handles that Section 8 is under. In my experience, the DCA Section 8 program has a lot of employees that don't give a damn about their clients. Let's get that out. Let's get that off. Let's get that on. Here's more quality of life information. A lot of them, not all, a lot of DCA Section 8 employees don't give a damn about their clients. They're just marking time. I know. Some of them are just marking time until they retire, okay? And some of them are mad that they gotta work right up until retirement, which you should anyway, so you can get the max benefit. But that's another bit of information that we'll give you later on, okay? And some of them just gotta work because they have to. They can't retire. They're in their 60s and they wanted to retire, but they can't because they all overextended themselves and now they taking it out on the client. Let me give you an example. When I first got on Section 8, and yes, I'm a senior and I was lucky enough to get to Section 8 and make no mistake, I am entirely and without question grateful to get this to get a housing choice voucher. Okay, and remember this: there are two types of vouchers. There's project based, which means your Section 8 is tied to a specific type of apartment building or project, and then there's state based Section 8 that allows you to take the Section 8 and go to any Section 8 program in the country, which is what I have, and I'm grateful again. Okay, uh, you have to realize that when you get that letter, the SRAP letter saying that you have been picked to get a housing choice voucher, and then they said you don't have to do anything, da da da, do something. Call them, find out, find out where, find out how, find out when. Okay, don't just sit back, ladies and gentlemen, and not do anything about your voucher. Because after a year and you ain't heard from them, they might be. This is what some scumbag Section 8 employees will do. They'll they'll say that they sent you when you lose your eligibility because of a response, and I want you to see the quote sign I'm doing. Once you see that you haven't received any response after a year, start calling them up, start sweating them. Do that, or you'll find out you mysteriously been dropped from the program. And please don't let that happen, because the way the housing market is, okay, especially if you're on a fixed income like myself, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I am entirely grateful for the Department of Community Affairs uh, and the Section 8 program. I'm very grateful that you guys picked me to be on the program. That's why I always try to stay up par as far as my paperwork. Here's a bit of a line. Here's some quality of life information. Stay on top of your paperwork, okay? Now, here goes a couple of names that you can hear, a couple of departments you can call when you don't get your satisfaction regarding the status of your the status of your SRAP application. First of all, this use this as your ace in the hole. The governor's office, the governor's office, constituent services. Okay, I'm not going to give you the number because I want you to do some work. Okay, I ain't going to do all the work for you. I'm going to try, but not that hard. Okay, governor of constituent or the or governor's office, constituent services. See, but keep in mind, here's something that's not cool about constituent services. They're going to forewarn. Once you, yeah, you see, this is the part I really can't stand about constituent services. The department that you're complaining about, they're going to warn them that somebody's filing a complaint or somebody has a problem with the way they doing their job. Okay, and constituent services is going to warn them. Like, they're going to give them fair warning. You understand? So you got to watch that. You can also call the supervisor, the Department of Community Affairs. Okay, okay. Uh, If all else fails, look for your county executive. No matter what county you're in, okay? Look for your county executive or board of freeholders. They got elected to do exactly what I'm telling you to do with them, which is your play when you can't get satisfaction from DCA and the Section 8 department. Am I making myself fairly clear, folks? Hope I am. You understand? It's what you can do to help yourself. The first thing you can do, as I stated earlier, to help yourself out with your Section 8 is to make sure you follow up. You see, and keep documented evidence that you are following up. You know what I would do? This is what I do. I record all business interactions. I don't record all personal or none of my personal interactions on the phone, but I do record all my business interactions. That is what you're going to have to start doing. Let's just do this. If you got an old cell phone laying around, if you ain't using it, I will get a sound recorder app and put on that joint if there isn't one on the phone already. You understand? Am I making myself fairly clear? You should record all of your business calls. Let's say you call me up. See, I'm gonna drop the science, so I don't care if you record business interaction between you and I. But when you call Section 8, when you call constituent service, record the phone call, because what they will say once you bring them on the carpet, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, and then we'll record the call. Now, let me give you another quality of life information. Remember this: the state of New Jersey, as well as I believe 20 other states in this union, the state of New Jersey is what they call a one party consent state. What does that mean? As long as you are one of the parties involved in a conversation, you can record the call surreptitiously. What does surreptitiously mean? It means on the D low, on the down low. You can record the call on the down low without letting anyone know that you're recording them, as long as you're one of the parties in the conversation. Am I making myself fairly clear, folks? You see, I want you to get the help that you need. That's why I took the time and effort to set this podcast up to help you out with quality of life information. You understand? Let's move forward. We have a website. Our website ivms.com dot safespacenj.org. What information we have meticulously put on the site to help you out with quality of life information. Here's another bit of quality of life information. If you go to our site, scroll down a little bit, you're going to see links to an apartment listing. You're going to see a link to a job listing. Now, are those two lists all encompassing? Of course not. Of course not. But we try to help as much as we can, and we try to research as much as we can and give you as much info about apartments and jobs as we can. Okay. And also, our phone number was not on that site, but I don't have a problem giving you the phone number to our organization, which once again is Insight Volunteer Management Services. Our phone number is 908-324-6148. You had to look on the back of the phone, you know what I mean? Because I just got the phone number. And we're going to be updating our website with that information very, very soon. It's probably as soon as I finish this Infopod with you guys. You know what I'm saying? But right now, the focus is helping you out with quality of life information. Watch this. I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna switch gears in fact. Watch this. Um, if you are a senior or anyone that likes plants, have you noticed that your plants are browning? You know what I mean? New leaves coming out with the tips brown. Now you might think, wait a minute, this is not quality of life information. Check this out. Some people have pets. Some people have plants. So they look at their plants like they're babies. They're family members. Am I making myself fairly clear? So if your plants are browning, three things. You could be underwatering, overwatering, or you're putting too much fertilizer. By the way, if you want to help your plants out, I just learned a recent tip myself. Put some Epsom salt on the surface of your soil or mix it in, or put the Epsom salt in a spray bottle, shake it up, and spray the soil. Okay. I'm not sure if you can actually spray the plants, but at least spray the soil. And I just found this out myself. Epsom salt is a nutrient that your plants love. Okay. Now I got what is known as a spider plant, long, thin leaves that grow out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and one more thing, you might be giving them too much sun. Now, I think it's a combo that was underwatering and over sunning them. In other words, I was giving them too much sun. So what I did, I moved the plant out of the sun. I then put the Epsom salt in. I put the spring water up in there. Now you ain't got to use spring water, but I suspect you should, because I don't know about tap water in your plants. But then think of this: plants have been growing for years with tap water, so I guess you can use tap water to make your plants feel better. You understand? And remember, your plant is a living creature. You see what I'm saying? Just like a cat, a dog, your plant is a family member. You know what I'm saying? And watch this. People that got a lot of plants in their house don't understand exactly what I am talking about. Okay. Once again, I am the Infopod host Robert Isaiah. That's ISAIAH. I put this Infopod together to give you quality of life information. In fact, that's also our mission statement. Our mission statement is to provide virtual quality of life information so that you can run with it, you can roll with it, and hopefully you can get some sort of satisfaction or get some sort of help that you need. Okay? Um, let's shoot. Let's shoot. Let's switch gears here. Switch gears. Let's talk about selling your blood to these organizations. First of all, most of the people, this is Dateline, quality of life information, selling your blood to these organizations. I'm not going to name them. You know who they are. They have even sold some blood. Now, keep this in mind. I'm not knocking anyone that sells blood, okay? Because I was going to do it. I was just too damn lazy to go to the place and spend an hour and a half going through their scenario to do it. But if you feel like going through that scenario, run with it, okay? What I was going to say about quality of life, most of the people that sell blood are poor, okay? Yes, I'm poor. I'm poor. Are you? Okay? And if you are, again, don't feel bad that that's your side hustle. There ain't nothing wrong with it. You know why? Because your body, unless you get a hole in it, is going to replenish your blood supply. It may take a day or two, or maybe even a week, depending on your what's the word I'm grasping for? Depending on your stability of your body, okay, you will replenish your blood if you give a couple of pints or three or four. Well, keep in mind, you can't give too much blood. Number one, if they're legitimate, they're not going to allow you to go past a certain limit. So they know what that limit is, okay? And if you're feeling weak when you leave, make sure you drink something with a little sugar up in it. Make sure you replenish. Okay, after you give the blood, and you're gonna make a little bit of change. You see what I'm saying? And how you use that money is up to you. We don't look down at anyone on this site. We don't care what your sexual preference is. We don't care what your race is. You need help, you're gonna get it. You understand? So that's one of the things I wanted to tell you and wanted to relay to you, and I hope that has been helpful. Okay, and there's more goodies. I got some more goodies for you. You understand? I got plenty of goodies for you. You understand? Um, let's talk about the latest scumbag move by the absolute horrible and terrible Supreme Court, which is to shoot down Biden's attempt at student loan forgiveness. Now, let me revisit that. Was in an earlier podcast, I promised that I would expand further on this student loan scenario, but I kind of was waiting to see what the Supreme Court scumbag ass was going to do regarding oh, and by the way, they would still be scumbags even if they had gave Biden the go. They're still scumbags. Why? Because it's a 6-3 majority with 6 scumbags that were appointed by the traitors, the traitor party. And I'm not going to mention which party that is because we have to stay neutral. We can't really get too lean. We can't lean towards the Democrats and we can't lean toward the Republicans. But let's just say you know who I'm talking about. You know who appointed 6 judges, 6 ultra conservative judges who don't give a damn about human beings. You know who they are. In fact, I want you to notice something about the way the Supreme Court is going to try to shape this country. You see, one party who caters to the worst members of our society. Again, I'm not going to point out which, but there's one party, as you well know, they cater. the worst members of our society. And right now, the worst members of our the worst members, excuse me, of our society, that party that represents them, they're trying to bring back the good old days. And you racists out there, you remember the good old days, and then you remember when decent folks fought against that, mostly people of color. We fought against the good old days, and now they're trying to bring back the good old days. But check this out: the student loan forgiveness. Biden's still trying to do a little something, something in regards to that. In fact, I apologize to you because I was supposed to check on the status of my student loan forgiveness. See, there's nothing like going through something and then reporting back what happens. You see, most of the time, when I'm giving you quality of life information, I have gone through it myself. Okay. I'm not talking emotionally when I'm saying that Section 8, a lot of the employees, not all, are scumbags that don't give a damn, okay, about their clients. Okay. They marking time. No. See, I don't went through them. Okay. Give you an example. When I first got Section 8, I live in Essex County. Oops, I'm sorry. Did I say Essex County? I live in Essex County, and I'm going to tell you. I don't know if it's in the water or they communicate. It seems like all Section 8 offices, they got people that don't give a damn about their clients, or they work at the reception. Look, watch this. A lot of the receptionists, when you go to a Section 8 office, a lot of them are scumbags. Okay? Let me say this, and this is to you Section 8 employees that treat your clients like HIT. If you didn't want to deal with people, you shouldn't have took the job. Okay? Now, there are some Section 8 counselors or case managers, as they're called, that are they genuinely care about their clients. You understand? So we're not disparaging them. We're disparaging the scumbags that do what they can to hurt their clients. Let's go back to what I was about to say. When I first got my Section 8 in Essex County, ladies and gentlemen, don't you know that the Section 8 case manager drug her feet or drug his feet? I'm not going to tell you what gender they are. They drug his or her feet. I had already packed my stuff in a U-Haul, and I was hoping that I gave them plenty of time to inspect the apartment. See, this is how case managers F, F over their clients when they first trying to get into an apartment. One of the ways. They'll drag their feet to the apartment inspection. That's what happened to me, folks. Cost me an extra $1,000 that I needed that I could have used for something else. Yeah, I'm bitter about that, and you would be too. Okay, okay, and it was probably partially the fault of uh housing, uh the place I was trying to move to. It was probably partly their fault, but I suspect that it was not, because it is in their best interest to get the apartment ready as fast as possible. See, so they can see what you know what hurts apartment building. If you are a property manager, you can agree to this. One of the things that property managers try to avoid is lack of occupancy in their buildings. Okay? See, an empty apartment ain't making no money. So that kills them. Okay, but they still got to pay rent and utilities on the whole apartment building. And the bigger the building, the bigger the bills have to be paid, whether all apartments are occupied or not. So I suspect that the real issue was the Section 8 case manager. You understand? Am I making myself fairly clear? Unfortunately, they tell you in the paperwork it's a timing thing. No, it ain't no timing thing. That's a catchword. Okay? Let you know that you gonna have a if you don't have a case manager that's practicing due diligence, okay? That's not conscientious. It's not a good person, okay? That's a case manager that's not fed up with their job, but unfortunately it's to keep working, okay? And then they're gonna F you over. They're gonna F you, the client, over, like what happened to me. All right. $1,000 that I did not have and had to borrow to stay in a hotel room for a week. A week. You see. Okay. Now you may say, well, why didn't you go to relatives? Because I didn't know I was going to have to do that. Okay. All right. Right. I knew they did. Now they tell you that it's a timing thing. You have to time your, nah, that's laziness on the part of the case manager not doing their job and not practicing due diligence, in my opinion. Seeing that I was affected to the tune of $1,000, my opinion is going to trump anything they say about it's a timing thing. Am I making myself fairly clear? All right. Now let's switch gears again, because I know you don't want to hear me think about what more, or maybe you should. Okay. Let me just check my notes for a second. Okay. And let's talk about the tens of millions of dollars that seniors have lost through gift card fraud. Let me explain something to you, as they say on the street. Let me explain something to you. You gotta watch out. See, in a bad or good economy, a bad or good economy, you're going to have scumbags that don't want to work, okay, or get an extra job to make ends meet. Nah, they don't want to work hard to get the to get some dough, okay. Nah, what they want to do is scam somebody. You understand? So now they coming up with all sorts of schemes. Okay, the Nigerian email, remember that one? Ooh, I got caught out there. Send me $2,000. Ooh, grandma, send me 2 G's so I can get up out of here. Help me, Cecil, help me. Yeah, it's a scam, right? So now these scams have, shall we say, progressed, improved, evolved. Yeah. The latest one is gift card scams where they say they offer you something for nothing. Let's make it short and sweet. They'll offer you something for nothing. Okay. And then they want you to pay it with a gift card. Uh-uh. Swing and a miss, guys. Okay. Then when you send the gift card, whatever they said that you should have got, or whatever service they pretended they were gonna give you, you got to do. Okay, you got to do. Yeah, it's happening, and it happens to seniors a lot. In fact, I will say that the most vulnerable population that's susceptible to fraud is seniors. I'm quite sure that anybody that's listening to this info pod that got duped, know I'm telling the truth. And if you haven't, do the research like I did, and you will agree. The most vulnerable population, ladies and gentlemen, that are susceptible to fraud are seniors. I am a senior. I'm 64 years of age, and quite frankly, it's rare when a black man makes it to 64 years of age. Okay, we have all these health issues that are. Here's something. I read a seat in Quality of Life information time, 8 line. Did you see the CNN article that basically says what black people or people of color, especially black people, have known for centuries, for years, that the medical profession is biased against people of color, specifically black Americans, black people. But you know, the medical profession is specifically biased against us. Did you know that? But you felt that? Okay. First of all, in an earlier Infopod, we talked about the Tuskegee experiment. So right there, that should let you know that the medical profession don't give two shits about you. They could care less. I gave you an example. I went to a doctor to check out my lungs. Okay. What I really wanted was an X-ray because I'm susceptible to blood clots. So really wanted an X-ray. The doctor tried to tell me that the problem that you're having could be heartburn. There's an over-the-counter drug you can get. I looked at this. Well, let's say I looked at this B word like, are you out of your mind? Okay, you're a doctor. Okay, and you're supposed to be looking out. You took an oath. You took an oath. Okay, when you got your shingle, when you got your license, you took an oath. Okay, your oath basically puts you in a position where your patients have to have complete trust in your judgment and your ability. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That is not the case with most the doctors in the United States. What if I tell you that most of the doctors in the United States, they inherently, which means they were born with this, okay? Which is why the CNN article suggested certain maladies that affect Black Americans, like high blood pressure, for instance, okay? Because they get poor treatment from doctors who diminish their capacity to feel pain. Okay, it was almost like I was watching Mandingo, a movie, and the dude was saying that uh, a nigga don't feel pain like a white man. You can feel more pain than a white man. Check this out. That mentality is not just a movie, y'all. I'd say most doctors have that mentality when a person. Give you another example. When I was in the hospital 3 years ago for a lung issue, okay, I'm telling them that I'm in pain. I'm still in pain. Don't you know they diminished and implied their left Israel in Livingston. Excuse me, Barnabas, R.J. Barnabas in Livingston, the hospital. That's the hospital. They diminished my capacity to feel pain. Why would you do that? Okay? Why would you do that? Because they look at us like we're a nigga that don't feel pain like the white man. Okay? Now, I know I'm being explicit in my explanation about feeling pain. You understand? But the reality is I may be being explicit, but remember what I said. When I say something, more than likely, I have either, number one, gone through it personally, or I have researched it and realized that this is true. Okay? Dateline, right now. Let's move forward. I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that about the health issues. You know the number one health issue that black people have? Police killing them. If it ain't number one, it's damn sure number five, number three, number two. And if you're a certain age group, you definitely number one. Like I said, it's rare that a black man reaches the age that they have reached. Number one, because of health issue, and number two, because of the police. Okay. Speaking of the police, you notice since George Floyd, have you noticed since every black person that's been killed since George Floyd, you notice ain't nothing changed, right? You know why, right? I'm gonna say it again, like I said in an earlier info pod. Police don't have an incentive not to kill until an incentive is given so that the police have to pay a price. And believe me, that fake firing doesn't mean a thing. Why? Because they can go to another municipality and get a job. Watch this. Here's something I didn't know. Do you know police got to be certified to be a cop? So why don't you take that certification away from them? Okay? Take the certification away from them so they can't get another job in another municipality. You understand? See, this is how this the diaspora is being shaped. Okay, the good old, I call it the good old days diaspora. Okay, and notice that the initial mean God. Okay, now me personally, I don't believe in God. Okay, I believe in people because that's who's gonna put you into something. People, not God. Okay, God ain't gonna get you out of nothing. Okay, it might help you. It might help you spiritually. God might help you spiritually. Okay, or believing in God. Let's put it in that respect. Might help you spiritually, but in reality, it's a flesh and blood human being. Okay, and I use that term loosely because usually POSs, the pieces of you know what, that are putting you in the position, they are morally corrupt. Okay, like the Supreme Court. Now, this conversation is coming full circle. Like the Supreme Court, for instance, scumbag police, scumbag Supreme Court that cares less than nothing about your life. Okay, only thing they care about is perpetrating their agenda, their an ultra conservative agenda. You understand? They care not about your well-being. You understand? They should come up with a new mantra. Give me a Supreme Court position, and I guarantee you I will care not about your well-being. You understand? I'm laughing, but that crap, damn sure, I almost said shit. Okay, I'm gonna say that they don't give two shits about your life, folks. That's why they were picked. Okay, now should there be term limits on the Supreme Court? There's no way in hell that an ultra conservative or bad people that don't give a damn about you and my life should have a lifetime position. You damn right the Supreme Court should have a term limit on it. I'm switching gears fast, folks, because we soon will be running out of time. But I'm gonna still hook you up with quality of life information. You understand? I'm gonna try to do what's right. For instance, uh, if you live in the city of Patterson, if you live in any municipality, and you're hungry, there are pantries that are giving out food. Okay, but do you know you can also set up a pantry on your own? Okay, that's one of the things that IVMS, Inside Volunteer Management Services, is going to be doing soon. We are going to be giving out food because we're going to go to the community food bank, fill out an application, and hopefully we can begin the process. Like I said, I live in Newark, okay, one of the worst cities for seniors, by the way. I live in Newark, New Jersey, and I live in a building, a high rise, you could say, but don't get it twisted when you hear the word high rise. Okay, it ain't nothing penthouse about this joint. Okay, but let's just say there are a lot of people in this building, and me personally, it makes me feel good. This is why I do it. I like to when I see I volunteer at a couple of pantries. I volunteer at Nancy Greer's pantry, the St. Augustine multi-service programs pantry, and I volunteer with the grandparents every third Saturday. I volunteer, especially if you live in the city of Patterson. I volunteer at the grandparents pantry. My man Lorenzo, Miss Muhammad. Okay, I work at their pantries. We get food for ourselves, and we work the food out for other people. Now, why do I do this? Sure, I do it for food. I also do it for exercise. And quite frankly, I do it because I want to. Okay? I want to help others. That's just me. Now, let's go back to the Supreme Court. They don't want to help others. In fact, the only people, if they want to help anyone, is people that are multi-millionaires. Okay? Is that you and I? Hell no, it ain't. Okay? Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. The next time a decision is handed down that absolutely screws up your quality of life. Okay? Once again, I want to give a shout out to the Office of Faith Initiative, Mr. Eddie Laporte, for hooking us up with the dough to make this podcast possible. And I also want to give a shout out to SafeSpaceNewJersey.org, which basically we try to remediate bullying. And I want to give a shout out to all the people that's down with that. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Charles Brown, excuse me, Ms. Mrs. Monique Brown. I'm giving a shout out to Mr. Kevin Southall, our treasurer. I'm giving a shout out to our founder, Mr. Jason Connick. I'm giving a shout out also to Ms. Nancy Greer, which is our ED or executive director. Okay, let's get back to you now. Now that I gave the shout outs, you understand? Let's talk about something let me go up in my bag. Okay, let me go up in my bag right quick. Let me see what I got up in my bag for you. Let me see what else we want to talk about. Here's something. Here's some information. Do you know? Watch this, guys. Watch this, guys. Do you know you can freeze your eggs? Yeah. If you got cartons of eggs, now watch this. I'm saying this because I get a lot of eggs from the pantry, and I love eggs. I'm sorry, I love eggs. Always have, especially boiled ones. Man, let's say you got 3 or 4 cartons of eggs. And, you don't want them to go bad because eggs eventually will go in your fridge. Okay. And by the way, people in Europe, they don't refrigerate their eggs. Interesting. But it works for them. Uh, you can freeze your eggs. What I would do is crack the eggs, put them in a plastic bag, seal them joints up, and then put them in your refrigerator. They'll last for months, guys. They'll last for months. All right. That's a bit of quality of life information for you. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wind down now. I think I've given you some tidbits, or as we say, pearls of wisdom. Okay, okay, and I really appreciate you taking the time to uh, give out or give a shout or give a listen to our podcast. Uh, if you want to uh, give us an email about something you want to hear about on the next Infopod, send an email to ivs.org at gmail.com. That's our email. You can go to our website, ivs.com, safespacenj.org. And you will see, once again, a bunch of information, a bunch of. Okay, you don't know. Okay, that's a word. That's a word. Bunch of. We got a bunch of information for you. You see what I'm saying? And and take advantage of the information that we give out. And again, I'll give you our phone number. It's 908 324 6148. Give us a shout out. Right now, that telephone number I just gave you is not on our website, but soon it will be. And we appreciate you taking the time out from your busy day doing whatever you were doing to listen to this podcast, because believe me, there's a lot more information that you're going to be getting from us. And I just appreciate the time, effort that you take to listen or watch our Infopod. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to our Infopod. My name is Robert Isaiah, and I'm the host for IVMS's Infopod, would be Insight, Volunteer Management Services, Infopod. Thank you for watching and listening. I'm Robert Isaiah.